let's see. We're going to red already. Holy shit, we are fucked. Okay. Ooh, I said the bad word. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna try to do this really fast. Alright, my name's Redactyl. I'm running some of the stuff for the TUG community. Before we get into anything, a quickly summary of what TUG is. TUG was a game that was on Kickstarter around 2013. They met their goal. They wanted to make they took inspiration from Minecraft, and it's all based on a couple of mods, and the whole goal was they loved how Minecraft had mods for it. They wanted to make a game that was like a survival crafting kind of thing, but it was community invested. Short and sweet. They got an investor, and the investor like totally sucked them all. Like they devoured the company. Um, right after this, near the end of 2018, which I found, these were found in 2018. I found them at the beginning of like July or whatever, and these are leaked videos from their old YouTube channel that now doesn't exist. We're getting to the part real quick. This one I found at the end of 2018 on a developer's website. Where it's his resume. I will try not to leak any kind of information about that, but this is the video. Okay. So that's the video. This is Best Buds. They were making that game last year after they let go of the lead, the I think the co-creator or the creator of TUG, and this was entirely made by like I want to say 5 or 10 people. And this one is different from the other ones because our friends over at Walker Boy Studios, which thankfully they disclosed. I should not have some stuff that's on here. They disclosed some stuff that about that build of the game. We learned quite a while ago, 6 months ago, that Walker Boy Studios was contracted to help a prototype version of Best Buds after August, when most of the artists and other devs kind of left the game completely at that time. I emailed the correspondent from Walker Boy Studio. He mentions that he helped with this. There's more to the story, but I think the short and sweet is they told me they helped make this. They told me that they couldn't say anything more at the request of not of Nerd Kingdom, but at the request of IGG, which ultimately means that their parent company has them under NDA. The only thing we know so far is that this is on their websites, walkerboystudio.com, and they definitely helped make this game. So this game is confirmed to be a game Nerd Kingdom was working on. I had an issue with massively-overpowered.com. I contacted the first woman, the first vlogger was pretty well. She had it somewhat right, and I tried to talk to her to get some corrections because some of the stuff was outdated. Never heard back. There was another blog that was done a couple of months ago. He also didn't get the facts correct. I will not show any of that because, as far as I'm concerned, I love those guys. I love massivelypowered.com, but I feel like they didn't take the time for like someone like a source like me to talk to me, because it's really outdated and a lot of stuff they say all right, but at the same time they aren't. They missed the point, and one of the bloggers basically said he couldn't use some of the stuff that I've said because he couldn't confirm it. But I'm not a blogger. I'm not getting making money out of this stuff. But I can confirm that this is real. You can go to the website and the YouTube channels and stuff. This is definitely real. I can confirm that they worked with Nerd Kingdom, and I even have emails confirming they said that. So that's why I don't really talk about those. There were 2 articles this year that were made. They're not important. They are I would say they're factually incorrect in some aspects, but nonetheless, we appreciate their support. We really do. But I until I get in contact with them, I cannot I cannot like advertise the look at those blogs just because of the misinformation, which is a huge problem. So this happened a while back. After I figured that out, I think roughly after that, I think he's before or after, um, Charlock, a backer, gave me access to the TUG 2.0, which was something like high tier backers got. Um, it's not, I can't get it to run because obviously I'm working on an early back computer. But we got that, and there's not much. It was mainly a tech demo to show that it worked to the early access backers, and it's not a very finished one, but it is here on r/tug. If you want to look at it, you want to mess around with it, it's here's some other stuff. Shortly after that, after we got the Discord and the community set a little bit, I had an anonymous user on Discord send me some of these screenshots. You've seen this screenshot before from his trailer and the YouTube channels. These shots you have not. That's the seedling and the forest. We've got a tech demo to mess with the sword and the wisp. Other stuff that you've never seen before. Here is a desert biome, which I'm almost certain has never been seen before. And they also leaked. This was after the backers, the high tier backers, got access to the demo or the prototype. And this is TUG 2.0. I think roughly just before it was, before they stopped working on it. This is a leaked folder file of what was in what they were working on. I've tried to contact this person multiple times, but my source has not came back for me to talk to me or release anything else, which is a shame. We also, the past couple months, we also got a dev thing right here. This is a leaked list of stuff that is in the game. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm not doing so well. This is leaked files of some of the game. I haven't really looked at it myself. Pathfinding, debug mode, bubbles. Some of these are like just stuff that's in the game. Dark resources, dark seed, desert. Some references. Grid building, harvest. All this stuff is references to what would have been in the game. One of the big things I've kind of noticed in this Mordor/Mordor, if you're not really aware, I'm one of the YOG Ventures backers that got the game as a like I'm sorry. We worked with Nerd Kingdom to advertise the game, and I was one of the YouTubers who actually had a YouTube channel and did like a video on TUG. One of the files I do that too on r/YOG Ventures. Anyways, I decompiled that game, and that's one of the names on the YOG Ventures like code. It should be noted, Nerd Kingdom has said a long time ago that they did not use any of TUG's code. But this may be a programmer's like reference to Lord of the Rings. I'm not really sure, but it's highly to note that YOG Ventures and I think this is a dev mode of like post January. So that's something to really note. Uh, the puzzles, all that stuff. Um, I am missing one more, and I think if I can get this here up, I don't know if you can see all this. There's one more. I don't know if you can see this. I hope this is what redstones would have been like in TUG 2.0. I'm not exactly sure what they look like, but they were testing out what redstone would have looked like in that type of game. Uh, Shortly after that, we figured out by one of our Discord users that he had found out as of May. No, it's May or June. What is it? Yeah, May. As of May 16th, Nerd Kingdom had filed to dissolve the company. As you know, Nerd Kingdom was located in Texas. They were based in California, and this is another kind of something that people get misinformed. The company was formed in California, and we found this from Texas and California. That in It's not over here, but if you go to the Texas and look them up as well, they'll say that tax period has ended and that they closed it down over there. But this is from the California State Secretary of State. If you go to their website, and there's links on that's actually probably r/tug. I think the main pinned post thread should have it. Um, this is something one of our backers saw. uh, uh, Elected to dissolve, dissolution. So basically, the company doesn't exist anymore. Nerd Kingdom was shut down by the last CEO and investors slash board of directors of IGG. Um, and you can find this, and you can look at these PDFs. It has a history of the last 6 years of dealings of angel loans, the IGG like investor kind of thing. It's very complicated unless you really know what you're looking at. It's gonna be, unless you're like some kind of financial, it's gonna be really hard to figure out what exactly all it means. But that's all of the legal stuff over the past few years, and this kind of proves that Nerd Kingdom was officially closed down in May of this year. Not just right after they made a game called Craft Legends, but we figured out it's gone. It's dissolved. The company is defunct. I'm guessing IGG didn't invest in them again after Best Buds failed, and we don't know who got the rest of that money. We don't know if any of the developers got an incentive, or people like Peter, the creator, got some kind of like copyright to it. It's all gone. One of the big things I want to know is it says in the state of California, that all debts must be paid. Obviously, that didn't happen. I mean, in a legal standpoint, yeah, there's totally a legal standpoint for backers, because they closed this and they lied to the state that they paid debts. They still owe. Well, backing a project on Kickstarter is not a guarantee that the project will succeed. It is a guideline in the Kickstarter terms of service that the tier rewards are mandatory. They are legally obligated to give you that. But yet, it happens. There's nothing right now, unless you're like a millionaire. There's nothing that we could do about that. So that happened a while back. I'm trying to do this really fast. So a while back, I know Peter Sounds. He did a huge blog on what happened, or roughly what happened in this whole situation. It was it was another blog, um, and this one's really good to note. So he's like me. He talks a lot. It's really hard to follow. I'm not really sure what some of the stuff says. So I will try to give you a really rough draft. Uh, let's see. Okay, so in this whole blog, which again is on our /TUG, I think. If not, let me know. In this blog that Peter had explained, he talked about a little bit about the NDA. That low-key, me and everyone else knew that everyone was under a non-disclosure agreement, even though before the fact, like after like January 2018, they were still saying we're not under NDA, but they were. They weren't allowed to say they were. Whew. Okay, so in this whole blog that he talks about, one of the things he says, I absolutely run across more than one instance where I faced conflict with someone or felt someone confidently holding them in, rallying others, and creating divides are not okay. This is one of the things, and it goes on. Peter sort of hints at what a source, anonymous source, told me a while back. Someone who was close to the project said that someone within the company, which again, for this, like publicly, I will not disclose who that was. Someone in the company went behind Peter's back and told IGG about, or lied, or to an extent said something to him. And after whoever that was within the company did that, I know it was supposed to be part of the board of directors, which we'll get in a minute, but that never happened. But basically, the project was like totally like IGG was like probably really worried, and they if you don't remember, there was a investor kind of look at it a while back in 2008-17 that said that they were put back to development because when they visited the company, asked about like investors and stuff, they were put back to development after failed internal tests. Probably an excuse, but they weren't happy. They sent them back to work, and after Peter resigned, 90 at least 90 or 90% of the company was laid off as a result. And it made a great divide in the development of the game, to the point where they scrapped TUG completely, TUG and TUG 2.0, and they worked on an entirely new game in 2018, but they failed to meet expectations with that. Here's like he talks about gray areas. The short and sweet that is it's I think even Peter said this too. It's poor communication skills, and like they worked with IGG, which was a Chinese company based in the Cayman Islands. So there's a huge language barrier right there, and I think it's a result of not really understanding each other. He talks about the whole pay to win and the mobile industry, and I've already talked about it to death. Short and sweet. If you don't remember, Nerd Kingdom was bought by IGG. Bought by IGG for $8.4 million on the idea that they were going to go to free to play and they were going to have tons of microtransactions. Obviously, that didn't happen because it didn't work. Because at the time when they were doing that, they thought they could do cosmetics and do mods and pay for mods. But after they saw that Bethesda royally screwed it up, they were like, "Oh no, this is not." It's a great idea on paper, but I think after he saw the backlash from that, he was like, "It's this is not something that's going to work out." Here he talked about. I can think of a very specific instance where an individual asked me to let him share information with the higher ups, which was uncharacteristic of him. Some of them that some of my colleagues from my studio may be reading this, so you know who you are. Needless to say, the studio is closed now. So again, we just mentioned this. It's One of his colleagues, one of his people who worked with him, uh, asked I know Peter to let him share information with the higher ups, tell them how they're doing, and obviously whatever he said to them caused them to tell the company completely to rework it and that kind of stuff. What I say here, this is really important. Early on in the year, one of my anonymous sources that were close to the project claimed that someone in the company had lied to an IGT executive and talked to them about the developments of having my closed doors at Nerd Kingdom. They claimed that Deb had a direct attempt to push Peter out so he could take over the company. This did not happen, and this sentence proves my source was right, and the result that Nerd Kingdom closed down was due to an artist who'd become the CEO that had no idea how to make a game, much less the studio to bring to the brink of dying. Now we're not going to name names. Obviously, I agree with Peter a little bit. Should not go after anyone, and it's despite that I am saying it's really hard to keep some of this info out when it's very very public, very public. It's very public. It's not a secret to who this person is. I won't publicly denounce them on stream. I will just say that it's not even that I really think at this point, looking back, that they did something wrong, as much as it needs to be explained. Like right now, like me and some of the community think that whoever this person is did like throw us under the bus. And all we're saying is, if that's not the case, if this person did not throw them under the bus, then that needs to be explained. Otherwise, again, the miscommunication between us and the old developers community, which won't happen because of an NDA that that kind of prevents probably even this person from speaking up, apologizing, or doing whatever they need to do. So. What else is important? Okay, so this one's really important too. On this blog, let me tell you about blah blah that actually got an offer. I drove 22 hours to get there, did everything I was asked, left a big project because I thought I finally found my home. Then, while living in a hotel for 2 weeks, they changed the role on me. Got confused, failed to communicate what was going on, and the job was pulled. I love to say whom this happened with, even after dumping so much time en route handling them with things that were going to be done, with the areas of research were, whom to hire, workflow, proposal, tech, etc. In order to get reimbursed at the time being strapped to feed my kids, I had to sign an NDA saying I'd never call them out. This was about as close as I could get to do that. If someone is reading this, hi guys, I've seen you created a group and role defined for you, and it was taken over by that one guy I interviewed with last, where things fell off. I am glad they were the CEO's BFF. Edit, they was right, the handman, BF. Thanks for calling this one out, mystery friend. Now, the community has a lot of hot takes on this. We originally thought that he was talking about us because we thought that he was seeing all the stuff that we were doing on r/tug. But looking at this right now, I exactly know who he's talking about. Uh, the context that I'm seeing now, just rereading this on stream, I see you created the group and role I defined you for and was taken over by that one guy I interviewed with last. He's talking about the last guy he's interviewed, the dev that was that kind of threw everyone on the bus. And this can kind of be told right here, where it says, he says that this guy was the CEO's BFF, and it says edit. He was right hand of the CEO's best a best friend. And I'm thinking a dev at Nerd Kingdom was friends with a friend who was the CEO of ITG. And if you know, don't say anything. But yeah, this is what I think is happening: is that it was taken over by that one guy interviewed after Peter left the company. The guy who talked to IGG became the CEO, and he was the person who closed down the website, closed down the channel, banned me for even trying to speak out to the community about where the game was and the idea that the game was over. It's gone. It's not coming back. They're not coming to fix it. So that's I think that's roughly what he's talking about. I'm almost 100% sure he's talking about this dev who was friends with someone in higher management that knew the CEO. So this is important. Near the end of 2017, Peter stated on Twitter he was stepping down to lead TUG to give his insight on Nerd Kingdom, the board of directors. That was a real job he had. He was going to step down, and they were going to make him be a consultant for the game. What this boils down to is Peter saying Nerd Kingdom board of directors was real. But due to everyone failing to communicate, it fell apart and never happened. Peter also mentions while this was going on, he'd been living in a hotel for 2 weeks. He got there just for them to fool the job. And from what this says, from what all this I can kind of see, is that the NDA is, what was politely, hey, don't mention we had promised you a job and then didn't get a job, and we made you waste tons of money doing this. So if we give you money, your kids won't starve to death, and in exchange you won't tell anybody what we did and how this whole thing went down. Now, no one can blame, in my opinion, no one can blame Peter for living out of his car leaving a hotel for 2 weeks just to go and say this job that you had, you thought you had, is gone, and then going back to his family and saying, hey, I lost a job, I lost like 6-7 years of hard work and experience. No one, if anyone was in his position, I think they would say they would take it. We're not gonna we're not what I'm kind of annoyed about though is the fact that that this company totally took advantage of him and many other devs that I can't say without without doubt that they got that something similar when they left the job happened. And it's very common in the gaming industry to do NDAs. But it's on the idea that if you sign an NDA, it can affect your work on another company. In which case, like if you have experience, you can't just the NDA can't just say you can't tell them about what you did over at Nerd Kingdom. You that is like one thing. If the devs have that experience, they have a right to say and share their kind of backstory from that. I mean, I don't have to really explain why it's gone, but they don't have to hide like stuff like I made or helped create Best Buds, which was a project we were working on and didn't work out. So, as you see, I'm kind of sick or stuff like that. So here it is, me saying that we're not 100% sure. We thought he was talking about us. I don't think he was. So that's that. That is what's going on with that. I think I mentioned it on the the Discord and the Reddit. There's one more thing as of recent that happened, and ooh shit, ooh sorry, apologize. Last part that happened is on Peter's blog. This is a long post. I haven't really looked a whole lot into it. There's really not much to say. I am glad that he kind of talked a little bit about it. I mean, obviously, if I had a mind like Rick and Morty, I'd totally understand it. But it doesn't really get to anything too good because again, he's under NDA, and after reading this probably twice or 3 times, or no, 2 times, I already got the sense that he's even after Nerd Kingdom has like closed down, he's still unsure what he can say, and it's really hard for someone like Peter, because if he goes out and says this person does this or this person does that, it's obviously it has a negative impact on who he is and what like with me. I'm not in the game industry, but I still want to be conscious of everything and what I say because it has an adverse effect. Obviously, there is a couple people to blame in this situation, but I mean, even if you have good intentions, I think Peter's made a good kind of defense that your intentions can be well thought out and good, but they always have a negative effect. They always. So this is why it's not as easy to say, "Hey, this guy threw us under the bus. You should go." It's not easy. And this blog, I mean, it's long. It's very wordy and rambly, like myself. And there's only there's only one thing that it actually that it actually explains. Get down here. The only short things I've learned from this is that Nerd Kingdom was making a game, but at the same time they were a powerhouse of data. The whole point was data, not data collection, but like data science. And what they wanted to do originally, they wanted to make a game, and I'm gonna do not get. I'm gonna turn sweet. I'm gonna dumb down. They wanted to make a game, and they wanted to watch people play the game, and then take that data, however they were going to get it, and from what they've learned from players, they were going to improve on it, not by asking them, but I mean, by asking, but also learning what players do and improve. Obviously, it didn't happen, but what they realized in this blog, Peter goes on to say, what he realized is that at the time they were doing the same thing other companies did, which was collect a lot of data from a lot of sources. And he goes on to explain in this whole kind of like big blog that he got a lot of help from investors, influencers, big companies. He's made huge kind of friendships and kind of connections throughout the business. But obviously, like the issue he says is that he had influencers, and at the time, influencers were the best way to kind of advertise your game. And going back to how I get into this, TUG was advertised in 2014, 2015, I believe. Was advertised to the backers of the Yogscast Yog Ventures after Wintercool had failed to make a game due to a lack of experience. And that was Nerd Kingdom, one of Nerd Kingdom's influencers that helped them make this more than it was. It was great. How is that? I think what he's hitting at in all this is that IGG may have not have profited like it in terms of making a game and make people pay for stuff, but it's been said throughout the last few months. Power, like I think someone had said that in this day and age, data is more profitable than oil, and it's not a bad thing, but at the same time, it's I think what happened is IGG may not have profited from the game, but they profited from the massive amount of data they probably collected after they dissolved the company. Who knows how much data they have on like Minecraft or on the people who backed it. But we don't know for sure because we don't know if anybody got any of that. Let's see. He says a little bit. He's working on a project that he really think is gonna be something really good to look forward to, and uh, it's being with some developers that he knows, and it's I wouldn't say it's gonna be huge, but he says that he's working on something low key, and we should watch out for it. Here's the main whole point of this all. Another To whomever this is potentially concerning legal actions, it would be a silly thing to do. While your legal team may not understand this, your executives certainly know. I pay attention to details and I'm not motivated by money, which makes me trying to my legal action on me very silly. On the contrary, I'm collaborative, hateful, and tend to make everyone else a lot of money. All the time, I get an ability to do their own. In short, sighted mood to take action at someone that you know very well is capable to bring people with a lot of people together to do a lot of amazing things. I will happen to have a lot of friends in big places in the strange way. I took the time to plant a seed in a lot of favors. My actions would be public for the wrong reasons. In the end, I only validate the work I've done in America and Europe and the things that we did. So basically, I wouldn't call this a threat, but he's calling out to whoever, IGG obviously, who he's saying a lot of stuff that he did, not stuff like that is concrete. Like obviously, we don't know who this person was that kind of got the whole company in trouble and closed down. But he is kind of saying to their legal team, he is saying the same thing I would say, and I think is 100% true. Is that look, if you try to sue us or Peter's saying like if you try to sue me, you try to take illegal action on me talking about this, I have tons of people who know me. I have connections in the industry. I've got fans like us, who we mentioned at the beginning of this blog. I have tons of support, and for you to come at me legally in some kind of suit would be just irresponsible because the amount of backlash is gonna be irreversible. Like it's gonna be irreversible. It's gonna be huge. I totally agree in the idea that if IGG ever did come after us or even Peter, that IGG would be in major heat, especially after what happened to Blizzard and Hearthstone with that player. There's no way they would be done. They would be really done. I don't think Nerd King IGG plans to do that. But I mean, in the event of that, yeah, that's a great kind of like failsafe. Like we have tons of support, and we know some of the stuff is wrong. Having an NDA on something like this is very bad, and it's very annoying to me to see that nothing can be done about it. The last one I want to say is this one. This one says that. First, let me say I adore the appreciation. I adore and appreciate so much of the underground movement and support of the few selected who have kept Nurking alive in your own ways, as well as our work. Thank you. In so many ways, you will never know the few things if you keep me going my own path today. So we're the underground movement. I love the idea. He says that you saved our work, kept our the heart of Nerd Kingdom and our work alive. My whole idea at the beginning, well, not, I mean, my idea at the beginning was to research to figure out what happened in Nerd Kingdom. But as I went on, I had people helping me, and I came to the conclusion with other people that TUG and TUG 2.0 need to be saved. They need to be improved upon if they can, and if we don't save them or archive them ourselves, this game is gonna be gone in like 2 years. No one's gonna know. And my whole goal was after that was to encourage the community to be invested and involved like Peter wanted, and also to make sure that that no matter what happens, even though that the game wasn't made, that it was brought back to the community and that it can be saved for future generations. That's it. I wanted to save the game because I knew IGG had no plans. Nobody has plans for the game at all. It's a dead game, and I think it'd be irresponsible for anyone at this point to say you can't do that. You got to take it down. The game is not. Nothing's gonna happen. So I did my best with the community's help to save that game. The last and foremost is that there is a mod that our friend Sharlock, and I'll try to upload a video later of Wild Kingdoms. New mod. It's a new one in years, the first one, and it works with TUG 1. It's a large mod that was designed to expand the world of TUG. It includes new creatures that were never included in the game release, like the Moa and the Gecko. Charlock really worked really hard to get the Moa working and the Gecko working. Until I get a better computer, I haven't tried it yet, but the Moa and the Gecko are two of the things that were in the game. Especially the Moa is a tier reward. That's now that's now in the game. I haven't tried it out yet, but I want to. Some different, sometimes more deadly versions of other creatures, like the Polar Saber, cat and the params. New and improved behaviors have been added, which let players tame these types of animals and eventually grow them into their adult version. It includes some bug fixing and cosmetic changes for the original release immersion and performance. Again, props to this Sherlock for making this mod, and it's been years since I think a mod has ever been made. And if you go to r/tug, you can definitely find that and other mods over here, as well as TUG 1, which I can only say if you're going for that, make sure to read all the documents. And it's very, I guess I'll just say very caution. This is a non-Steam version that we were able to get. That's not associated with Steam, but it's still TUG 2.1, TUG version 1. There's nothing to do with Steam. But I caution because you have to really pay attention when you download TUG, because you can't just download it. Because some of the code is like the way it works is messed up. But you have to really. It takes not but a second to do it. But yeah, that's free as well for anyone to enjoy. So I would say take a look at that. I don't encourage piracy at all. Yeah, I don't want to really say anything other than as far as this goes, we haven't heard from anyone. We haven't heard from since TUG, Nerd Game doesn't exist. IGG would be the next step, but we haven't been contacted by IGG or Reddit at all. So, for now, I mean, legally, I could say for now this is fine. This is totally fine because no one, not even Reddit, has said anything about this at all. So feel free to download this at your own, risk or pleasure. Just know to read all the documents. Don't just ignore it, because otherwise it's not going to work. But that's it. Yeah, you can download that. This comes with a lot of mods that you can deactivate, and we've added a couple in there. So that's it for now. Go to r/tug. Let me go to the pin. Go join our Discord if you see this. Send our modders and many communities, people in the communities, some love. I don't think we would have been able to do some of this without them. And the only active thing right now is the Discord. So that's the Discord. This is r/tug, and you can get that right away. So I'm gonna try to update and try to put some more videos out as like TUG stuff. But I think that's it for now. I think I don't really have anything else to say other than thanks for watching. I hope you watched this. Hope it helped somewhat. Hope no one's gonna watch this, but yeah, I think that really kind of makes it short and sweet. Hope to see you guys in the future, and we don't have a goal we're gonna do yet. But I guess the goal right now is to I don't know. I guess the goal is to get some answers out of someone and kind of do more mods, but we haven't fully decided on it yet. But thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, hit that bell, or don't. I'll just really sad. But make sure to subscribe and all that stuff, and we'll keep you updated. Thanks for watching.